John Henry's.
A call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
And electrical.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Switching over to football on Friday, November 3rd in Class A, number 6 Lincoln East would fall to number 3 Elkhorn South 24-19. In Class B, number 9 Norris lost to number 1 Bennington in a close one, 23-20. And number 2 Waverly would advance to the semifinals after dominating in a win over Hastings, 45-21. Switching to volleyball, here are your 2023 state champions. In Class A, Lincoln Southwest won in their championship game over Papillion La Vista. In Class B, Omaha Scott will continue their dominance in recent history, winning over Norris in 3 sets. In Class C1, Minden won over Kearney Catholic in 5. And in Class C2, Lincoln Lutheran won over Clarkson Lay for its 3rd straight championship. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm Christy. I used to smoke cigarettes. I had smoker's cough and severe shortness of breath, and I knew I had to quit. Then I tried e-cigarettes, but I just ended up using both. I really didn't start to get better until I quit smoking completely. My tip to you is just cutting down on the number of cigarettes you smoke isn't enough.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. I'm Harrison Arns. This is the Don't Punt Hour with Demorne Pearsonell. This will be the only live show, not counting myself here. We'll have replays up until then, and then the post game, which should take part around 9 o'clock. Obviously, Nebraska basketball playing Florida State at 7 o'clock here. We'll have Bach on the post game for that one. But nonetheless, we do got Demorne Pearsonell in here. And to start this one off, since this is kind of your last night for the show, I just want to go through some Big Ten picks here because I was going through all the odds here. There's some pretty ridiculous ones out there. I just kind of want to see if you can guess some of these odds here. So first one we got right off the bat, and again, these are all I'm getting all these from Fox. They tend to be pretty consistent. We'll just start with Maryland, Nebraska.
Us favored, probably them favored by 3, probably.
-2.
Ouch.
Are you surprised by that one or no? To me, it seems like you look at Nebraska 52nd in defending the pass nationwide. The only 2 teams they've really lost to.
That's the turnovers. That's the turnovers.
Yeah,
right there. Like you can't even. That's turnover. Like I'm, whatever. Okay, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, Nebraska's plus 110 on the money line. If you are leaning that way, over under 43.5. That's kind of a stay away game if you're a betting man.
I'm going under.
I would go too. We talked about it, right? I mean, Nebraska hasn't been able to break 20 points hardly.
And the only time that they've gotten trouble with being blown under the water is when, the defense was out there necessarily too much. And I don't think Maryland will be capable of what Michigan or some of what Colorado could do.
Yeah, and that's been a lot of it. It's just the turnovers. I definitely stick with the under on that one. Unless you're expecting Maryland to blow us out of the water, which I just don't. I don't. I think, like you said, a lot of it's just based on turnovers. Like that Colorado game, defense was getting gassed. You send an all-out blitz, you get another touchdown right over the top. It's just one of those games.
Yep.
Moving on here. This one cracks me up. This is the sickos of sickos games. Rutgers at Iowa. You got 6-3 Rutgers, 7-2 Iowa. Can you guess the over and under for this game?
That's probably 1.5, maybe.
Over under total points.
Where is it? It's at
Rutgers
Iowa.
at Iowa.
What time?
I couldn't tell you what time it was. Didn't mark that one down. I think it's I'll
probably say 30.
28 and a half.
I'm about to say I was right there.
That is
right
the
there.
definition of a sickos game at 28 and a half. Again, Rutgers 6-3 at Iowa. And I was favored by -1. And if you're
that's exactly. Yep, I figured.
Yeah, maybe you're taking Rutgers on the money line plus 100, but that's just another one. Do you tune into Iowa games just to watch how they possibly went? Again, they're 7-2 on the season.
I can't cuss on the radio. No, no.
I'm always curious.
I can't stand them. Don't pay attention to them until probably 2 weeks before we play them. The only other thing that I paid attention to them early on was the return thing, because a lot of people messaged me or what was my thought on it or necessarily about that situation. Other than that, and how horrible their quarterback was, I don't pay attention to him at all.
Yeah, if you're looking for
any sport,
electric quarterback, Deacon Hill's not the guy. It's just been a tough role for him overall. And it's amazing to me how their offense has just been so bad over the years. Because if they just fix that one side of the ball,
they'd
be right up there with Michigan in just terms of dominating.
Honestly, it's funny because I was talking to Steve Warren and some of his friends and everything like that, and it was like they got a national championship caliber defense.
Yeah, every year.
Every year. So, and I was kind of like, first off, that pissed me off. I was like, no. But when he kind of broke it down and I really started to actually look at it when we was watching clips and everything like that, I was like, all right, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they given it's the Big Ten West, right? It's not necessarily league competition, but the fact that they're winning it every single year and haven't had an offense to show for it. Like, I understand the Big Ten West isn't a bunch of scary teams, has been for years, but the fact they can win it year after year, through special teams.
How do you fix that though? Like,
get a new OC. That's really
so
got to fire your family
with these Pac-12 teams coming to the Big Ten.
Washington, UCLA.
How do you feel about that? Like,
what you look at next year, I'll say this much. This is why it's a good thing Nebraska's at least at this point in the season 5-4, because this is going to be the easiest schedule we're going to have
for the next 3 years.
I don't even know if it'll get this might be the easiest schedule we have since I'll be alive. You add these teams in here, unless it's like a really, really down year for the Big Ten, but I don't see that many teams all just having bad. You're adding in a lot more talent because you're getting rid of the divisions too. So it's not like we just get to play Big Ten West teams.
But I think certain teams we match up well against.
That could be. We'd have to see
I've been in games where we played Oregon and matched up fine. They got off to a hot start, but can't maintain it throughout the whole game.
We did beat them last time they were here.
I've played SC and it was just a shootout. So you can say outside of maybe how the old Stanford used to be, Washington, and I think Washington will pretty much hold their own. I think they got to get used to a different type of style of ball. So when we go out there, I think we'll flourish and be fine. I think early on you'll see a lot of teams, those teams might jump up on on some of the Big Ten teams that kind of, it's just a grind out game. And then as the game goes on, the strength and they'll get worn down. So I don't understand how you manage to expand literally the conference that was pretty much in the Midwest to now it's the Midwest to the West Coast.
It's west to East Coast. I mean, can you imagine if it'd be a brutal schedule. Say you're on the road away. What if you got to go to Ohio State? What if you're on the road? Got to go to Rutgers.
No. What if you are in Maryland? Then 1 week you got to go to California. Then you come back and play in the Midwest, and then go back to Washington or Oregon.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like those Western teams, that's gonna be brutal.
I know with like NFL teams and everything like that, when they have like those big time changes of when one of the coast teams go each way and everything like that, they try and get there early to get the players to get used to the time change and everything like that, or their stay certain places a little longer and everything like that. I don't know, how do you necessarily combat that, or is that even something you worried about?
I think it's definitely you're gonna have to take it into account because it's a ton of hours.
We're we're in the middle of everywhere, so we
have the best bet.
It'll be 3.5 hours either way,
but
outside of maybe Washington and
USC, and you got to go all the way to the East Coast and across the entire country.
That's gonna suck.
And then you got to come back, and then say you got 2 road games. And
I'm trying to see them. I want to see them at the shoot. Like I want to see that. Like I want to see that.
It'll be interesting. I'm really curious to see how the two styles kind of clash, because like you said, it could be a thing where the Big Ten physicality wears on them, which we've seen with Oregon.
They're gonna give them an easier schedule early on for money and whatever to kind of get them figured on. They didn't do that when we first came to the Big Ten. They didn't do that when Rutgers and Maryland first came to the Big Ten. They dragged them. But all of a sudden, now you kind of don't really. And I don't know if it's you. I don't know if you want. How does that get you 2 teams into the top 4?
Well, that won't even be a thing. It'll be top 12 next year.
Well, then you're fine.
Yeah. But I'll ask you this real quick. Do you think they should have just expanded the bracket even more? It feels like 12 is kind of a weird number to me. I honestly think like if you break that out to 24,
that's
and
a lot.
Have the 25th be a play-in.
That's a lot. You have to take in fact, those juniors and seniors that are preparing for the draft. And you kind of run into that problem each and every year where if they're not necessarily playing in a national championship, a lot of dudes will kind of sit out. You see what happened with Jalen Smith. He was probably the top linebacker going to be picked.
Yeah.
And he had a career-altering injury, and he fell where he, fell at. He was a dog at Notre Dame. So the fact that you kind of, I don't know how the schedule goes. So I don't. It's a lot because you push everything back. You push, the Senior Bowl back. You push the combine stuff back.
You just take those bowl games that already exist, like the Idaho Potato Bowl that no one's tuning into, and now that's your playoff games. Your bowl games just become your playoff games. So that way you're still.
But you're still okay. But you're still. It's not okay. Two games and you're done.
You could probably have to try to set up like a bye system to help those top 4 out.
Okay, so again, it's still adding extra games,
meaningful games though. Then I think that meaningful games. I think that's the problem with the Pro Bowls is those guys don't play because.
I think the bracket thing is good. I think because there are a lot of teams that are similar, and there's always going to be somebody left out. So the fact that they expanded it is good. I'm just saying, as far as you might not get people's best shot because, well, now I'm done with this part of my career, and now I'm going on to pursue the NFL, and I got this amount of grade, and I can't afford to get injured. You know what I'm saying? So
do you think 12 is too much? Or would you like? Were you okay with the 4?
No, definitely not 4. I'd probably say 8.
8, okay.
Like 12 is cool. Like I said, I want to see how everything goes and checks out. But going through the process and everything like that is a lot. Like you're not. So say if the 6th or 7th seed team has a few first round draft picks on them, like they're putting, their body on the line continuous, not just, for 2 games to try and get, like, now you're playing 3, possibly 4.
And they're ranked teams.
Yeah,
on top of
you're
it.
put 3. It's good. You're gonna have to. They're good 1 week after another, so that's gonna push the month, the football season at least a month back. That's gonna push your draft process and everything like that, with you going to these other types of facilities and everything like that, training for the combine back a month. How is that going to affect, the draft? The draft happens in April.
Mhm.
So will the draft still be in April, or will they push that necessarily back? How does that line up, with the NFL schedule? So I'm not the one that necessarily makes it up and everything like that. But you could see a lot more teams and those guys who are gonna go, who have, day 1 or day 2 grades, sit out just because, well, I got to do necessarily what's best for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Got me to that point and everything like that, but like, they don't.
You got money on the line.
You know what I'm
Next
saying?
level.
Like, that's life changing money. That's
Mhm.
opportunities that you necessarily can't get back. Jalen Smith still, got drafted and played and everything like that, but he was arguably, he could have been a top 15 pick,
Mhm.
and he dropped maybe 4th, 5th round.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, he's still necessary. Like, he plays fine, he plays well and everything like that, but it's still like, you can only, well, what if that, and like, what if he didn't
Mhm.
play in that game? You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't for a national championship or anything like that. And it was something fluke. Like, it wasn't even, a crazy collision or anything like that. Like, he slipped, his knee hyperextended, and you lost millions.
Mhm.
So now, now kids are going to be thinking, okay, well, I put my body on the line for, these 4 years and everything like that. We got to the point, not saying that we might not have a chance for a national championship, but, I got to do necessarily what's right for me. I done got y'all to this point, and I think you'll see a lot more kids probably stand on the sidelines, just making, a better investment for them. And people are going to be mad about it, but you can't be, because if you was in the same situation, like, you would be thinking differently.
Yeah, it's kind of like we talked about before, but the whole Caleb Williams thing it's interesting. He just obviously still playing, but it was one where it's like I wouldn't be super surprised if he shut it down. But that's the thing. You got NIL deals now too, so that's also part of it, right? Like he's got that money coming in. It's not like he's gonna be,
but he's in a different situation, because
yeah, he'll be losing money. That's a rarity.
They probably can still go to the Pac-12 championship.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, if I don't even know who's on their side. Like, I'm pretty sure Utah is probably going for sure, and then on their side, I don't know if Washington and them are in the same conference.
Yeah, this is Washington.
So, if Washington loses to somebody that they didn't beat or something like that, so they possibly can still go, maybe even that, but the draft process is the process. It's like they're going to be prying at, something to devalue you, and you're just feeding him fire to. And it's not like he's getting hit crazy or anything like that. Okay,
Right.
you might not win a Heisman, which is cool or whatever, and everything like that. Enjoy, your time and situation and everything like that, because in the next 4 months, you could be in one of the worst organizations trying to change that around, and your situation in college is not what your situation is in the NFL, and you know what I'm saying? So I don't think he sits or anything like that. Like,
No, he won't.
If you do sit, like I said, you're just adding fuel to the fire for them to poke at you, and, well, why did you that? And you know what I'm saying? And he'll still get drafted as high as
he'll be number one, I think, still. Hands down. I'd be very surprised if anyone. Drake May's getting a little bit of buzz, but I still think it's Caleb Williams. I'd be surprised. We do have Ohio Husker from the text line here. I said, love watching you play DPE. And again, 402-464-5685. You guys want to join the conversation?
Appreciate that.
Feel free to do so. Let's move on here, though. Last one we gave was the Sickos game. Rutgers at Iowa. Iowa favored by 1.5. Money line if you take Rutgers plus 100. I think it's even if you take Iowa. Moving on here, 4-5 Northwestern at 5-4 Wisconsin.
I'm taking.
Can you guess who's favored?
Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to Northwestern.
No, the Northwestern's going to Wisconsin.
They're probably favored by, I'd probably say 10, 7.
Nailed it, 10. Yeah, 2-score game. That one makes sense. You add the 3 on there for the home field advantage too. But yeah, over under on that one is 44. Not too much to talk about there. Illinois, the over under on that one's 42. Yeah, Wisconsin favored by 10, and then Northwestern, if you want to get crazy, take the money line plus 283. Probably I wouldn't touch that one. Watching their game. Indiana at Illinois. Indiana 3-6, heading to Illinois at 4-5.
I got Illy. You said what was Indiana's record? 3-6.
3-6. And you got 4-5 Illinois at Illinois. Fighting Illini.
I'd probably say they got them probably about 3.
6.5 actually favored.
That had to be a close game. They were 1 game off, so it's toss up.
Yeah, that one's Indiana's actually if you take the money line on them plus 204. Some decent odds if you're leaning that way, but I wouldn't touch it with Illinois. I don't think they're playing a little more inspired. I'll say that game against Nebraska, I don't know what that was the worst I've kind of seen Illinois in a while. Like it was a weird game for Illinois, just like on all phases. It felt like the last few years how Illinois was able to beat us, just playing complementary football. For whatever reason, we get them on that goal line stand at the very first drive of the game, and it was just nothing. They couldn't get anything going.
Good. Hopefully it continues to pursue.
Yeah. And that could just be credit to Nebraska's, being able to stop the run.
Exactly.
And they didn't really have a quarterback that could
really do anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they lost a lot though this last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so I mean, it's probably a young group and everything like that. So better experience for them and everything like that. So in the next 2 years, it'll probably be a little more challenging.
Yeah, because they lost their backs. They replaced a couple of guys that pretty much do the same style, but just not to the same level. Again, they're young. I think Illinois will be on the come up next year, but yeah, definitely a development year for them. Another. This one surprised me a little bit because I don't think it'd actually be that much, but you got 9-0 Michigan on the road at Penn State, sitting at 8-1. Who do you got favored in this one?
With everything going around and everything like that, I'm pretty sure they're probably thinking Penn State.
They're actually going Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, still favored by 4.5.
How about okay?
It's close, but I thought it might even be even going into that one because Penn State. Yeah, they've had some ups and downs. For the most part, they've been playing really close.
That quarterback is in a groove.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious, to if they are, stealing signs and everything like that, how that one turns out. That'll be a good game. That will be. I think Penn State, but you never know. Penn State is that team every year. Like they can go. They can beat Ohio State.
You usually can tell by the first half too how that game's going because last year was Penn State and Michigan. Pretty close at first, but then at the end of the second quarter there kind of started running away with it, and it's like, okay, Penn State. It's for whatever reason you kind of feel like you can get what what you're going to get after that first half with Penn State.
Yeah.
But they only got Penn State favored plus 170 on the money line. So again, they're thinking it might be a little bit of a close one.
That Penn State defense has been, like I said, they have been on a terror.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier, when we were facing Michigan quarterback has been throwing down the yard a little bit more, and he's had more turnovers than he was where he was at last year. So I think that's an upset.
Okay, we got to get to 2 more here, and I really want to get to the Michigan State at Ohio State because I can't even believe they put numbers out for that one. 5-4 Minnesota at the struggling bottom of the Big Ten West. 2-7 Purdue.
Minnesota probably about 10 or at least 7.
Purdue favored by -1.
This is why I don't gamble. This is why I don't. Y'all can have it.
It's an absolutely don't touch this one. I wouldn't touch this one for a mile because even if you want to go money line here, they're not giving you money either way. -107 if you pick Minnesota, -113 if you pick Purdue.
Pass.
Yeah, pass on that 100%. Over under 47.5. That's the only way. Trying to make money on it. That's probably the only way, but I would definitely take the under on 47.5. Moving on here, the sicko of sickos games. If you're betting on this one, there's gambling hotlines out there.
They got Ohio State favored by at least 3 touchdowns.
31.5 is the spread.
Jesus.
Can you guess the money line? Because it's outrageous. I can't believe they even have a money line out for this game.
I'm lost.
Obviously, Ohio State.
I'm lost. I don't know.
So if you pick Michigan State to win, it's plus 3,000 odds. And if you take Ohio State to win, it's negative 10,000 odds.
Pass. Yeah, no.
I mean, hey, throw $1 out on Michigan State. Maybe that's the only betting. If
Absolutely not.
$1.
Absolutely.
You got
not.
$1. You pick 4 quarters.
They're not. Ohio State can play their third team and still win.
It just amazes me when they even have money lines out for games like that. When the spread is 31.5 and you got a negative 10,000 odds on Ohio State. There's sickos that'll bet on it, though. That's the point of the segment, especially when you're talking Big Ten football. There's always whenever time I pick a Big Ten football, I typically just stay with the over under because the under hits a lot.
Exactly. It's more so likely to go your way.
Yeah, it's just always
the other one is too many variables. No, I don't like it. Nope. I don't like losing. Nope. I more so of a controlled outcome. Thank you. No.
Yeah, we got to throw the break here. On the other side, we have one more odds to go through. We got another. It's just kind of a sickos week. You got the Panthers at the Bears Thursday night football.
Ew.
Electric game tonight. I'm sure everyone's
electric. Where?
For Bears fans.
No.
They'll try to find some fire. But real quick, if we go to break, did you catch Matt Eberflus talking about Justin Fields and his health?
No.
In the press conference, it was an absolute debacle. And any Bears fans listening out there, they've essentially asked Eberflus, on Justin Fields' health, and he's listed as doubtful. Okay, makes sense, right? The hand injury listed as doubtful. And then he goes on to say he won't play tomorrow. And they're like, okay, so is he listed as out? And he's like, well, no, doubtful. And it's just this back and forth of trying to figure out. It's obviously tank mode. It's tank mode for the Bears is how I'm picking it up.
Who do you go to? Who do you get? Are you replacing him? Go to break. We'll come back. Go to break. We'll come back.
We'll go to break. Don't punt hour. Don't go anywhere.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Attack, which is an exciting pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workouts. Attack can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day. They are thankful for those who served our great nation and gave their lives to defend this country, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality, service, and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care. Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
All right, welcome back in. This is not We Talk Facts. We got the log mixed up on there. This is just Take a Weeknights Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Pearsonell, but we'll use the soundtrack nonetheless. If you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685. You can always tune in. Got a shout out Ohio Husker for tuning in. We got Joshua from Fairbury saying, DPE, loved watching you play.
Appreciate it.
You won the Heisman in my NCAA 14 dynasty, gave you 99 acceleration, and you housed it all the time.
That when does that game come back out? Because
I've been itching for it.
I've
been itching for it.
Man, listen. When I first came to college, man, when I tell you when we were out of practice, everybody, and I mean everybody, on the team was on that.
It stayed when I got down here in 2018. We're still whipping out the PlayStation 3.
Man, damn, PlayStation 3? Oof.
Yeah.
Hey.
NCAA 14. What were you playing on? That's all you could play on, right? Or did they have it on like the Xbox 360, PlayStation?
I want to say it might have been 4.
Oh man, I didn't realize that. We're on that PS3.
Man, oof. Yeah,
I play the same. That game is to me that's like peak sports game. It was the amount of frustration. It could break some friendships. It could get intense.
No doubt. No doubt. That NBA Live was I think Live. I don't know where 2K necessarily came from. NBA Live was the game to play.
2K got all the rights and basically monopolied anybody else from being able to touch any of those sports games. It's kind of the same thing with Madden. That's the unfortunate thing. It's like those pro leagues, once they sell their rights to like one it's over. Yeah. Like they can. That's why you kind of get like copy paste every year. I remember playing Madden. I think it was like Madden 20 and. It was Madden 2021, and it still had the Madden 2020 in the stadiums. Like they didn't even update them, so it's kind of like a copy paste. That's the problem when you don't have competition. Like you copy and paste it every year. But we'll get off that. We got one more game here. Then I want to go through the odds, and then maybe we'll dive into a little bit of NBA. The NFL sickos kind of game tonight. Panthers at Bears. Kind of surprised by who's favored here. Maybe not so much considering the teams going at it, but it is at Soldier Field in Chicago.
The Panthers are favored.
Chicago 3.5
is
Tyson Bajan's going to be starting.
for
Chicago.
Love's not. Is it Love or what's the Panthers quarterback?
They got CJ Stroud's over at Texans, and they got
Is it Love?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. He not playing tonight.
He should be playing. Let me double check. Unless they got their backup in there. But let me double check here. But what are your thoughts on that, real quick?
That's a terrible game. That is a terrible game.
Good thing there's Nebraska basketball at 7:00 tonight too.
Man,
you got something else to tune into.
Hopefully, it's exciting and everything like that. I'm not so sure. I think both of those teams are at the bottom of their division.
Yep.
So we'll see. I might watch a quarter.
As a Bears fan, like that's not even one that Thursday night football. That's a rough Thursday night football game. That might be the worst week they do on ratings because both teams are just kind of fighting for.
It was a
tanking.
game. It was a game earlier that was on. That was just awful. I can't think of it.
College, NFL.
I can't think.
Was
of
Chargers game? That was just kind of a snooze fest. Monday Night Football.
The games have been
like Jets, Chargers.
I don't know. The game has a lot more of the games haven't been as exciting this year for some odd reason.
Well, I do have an argument about this. Does the NFL have more bad games than good games? Because then, honestly, when I was thinking about it, there are more bad games in the NFL than there are good games.
What do you consider a bad game?
A game where you already know who's going to win it by the end of the third quarter. Like there's no excitement at the fourth. Like it's over. In some cases, a lot of cases, it's over before halftime.
I think a lot of variables go into that. Because I feel like you had a lot of, rookies that took over franchises.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there are a lot more decent games, more so than like bad games. It's short with them adding an extra week into it, kind of like, took the sales out of a lot of stuff. So, I think, people try not pace, but you'll hit certain strides throughout the whole NFL season and everything like that. You'll have, some horrible games every year, but I think they're more so lackluster type games more so.
Yeah. Like last week was a good example of that because you got
Is that Chargers and Jets?
Chargers and Jets. Let me find. I think, Chargers and Jets 27-6. You had the same week, Giants Raiders 30-6. You had Browns beating the Cardinals 27-0, Ravens blowing out the Seahawks 37-3.
I mean, the Giants made the playoffs last year, so I don't like. I didn't think that they were going to be as bad as they were this year. Like they traded for some pieces. They got Isaiah Simmons out of Arizona. They went and got Waller. I thought they were,
now Waller's hurt. Don't know what his timetable is. Daniel Jones. He doubled down on him, and now
you know what I'm saying. So it's that I didn't expect the Giants to be like that this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because like they were a playoff team last year.
And they were good. I remember, that was a team where I'd always be coming back from work on Sunday, and you'd have the Giants. It
was a good game. So
there's a lot of G-men, people calling for the G-men last year. Like they were surprising everyone, kind of rolling through, and it was just that time possession ball. And Saquon Barkley was just having a dominant year.
Like I said, I don't necessarily know what happened. Because I think they have a lot of talented people there. Their defensive coordinator, Wink, he's an animal, and he does not care.
I think it really started with Daniel Jones, just not even being close to what he was like last year. It's not like he was an incredible, elite quarterback, but he was I'd say above average. He was doing what he needed to do. They had an elite running.
He was
game.
consistent.
And then this year, he maybe has put together, 3 consecutive quarters of good football at most. Like he's been just so up and down. And I think that's the case.
And they paid him $40 million.
Yeah. I can see why Saquon was a little upset wanting to get his bag before the season started.
Do you think he stays there next year?
No. I'd imagine he tries to get out of there. He
signed a 1-year deal. So I mean, I think he signed a 1-year deal for like $11 million.
Mm-hmm, and he'll be out.
But the league is a what can you do for me now type of business.
Well, especially if you're a running back too, you're going to have to find a team that's okay with paying him that money. at the running back position. Even though he is what he is, it's crazy. There's still going to be teams that don't want to pay him that money.
For sure. They'll draft young and go like that, or
running
pick
back by committee instead of, picking a guy.
Yeah, so I don't that one hurt. Like I said, I didn't expect the Giants to be like, I thought the Giants were gonna come out rolling.
Speaking of running backs, who's been more disappointing this year? Tony Pollard or Jacob or Fields? I'm blanking on the Raiders back.
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah, there we go.
I think Tony Pollard.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs coming. He's starting to turn it on a little bit here.
It wasn't Jacobs' fault. Like you got that man in that situation and everything like that. Like I'm not putting it on him. He, they were trying to figure out, and I think, they're moving in the right direction. Tony Pollard though, for sure. I remember a lot of people, talking high with the fantasy stuff and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, like, he's a very talented guy and everything like that, but taking over for Zeke, that's some big shoes to fill. And it just, you swing and you miss. I don't know. They like him down in Dallas when they want to use him and everything like that. But I don't think he's your every down type of back that kind of like that how Zeke was.
Yeah, they really seemed to thrive when they had prime Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, a little bit of
1-2 punch.
Yeah.
You got your hammer and you got your lightning. Exactly. And
this year he's just expected to. He just hasn't been getting that production. Not even close to what it was last season. It's been a surprising year. I thought, I am surprised by him a lot. That's why I definitely put him as more disappointing, because I can't give a whole lot of reasons why it's been so bad. Like maybe it's just, offensively on the offensive line, it's not like they've got that much movement going on up there.
I mean, but their offensive line they still got, some dudes at their top position.
Exactly.
Like your left tackle is probably still top 5. Your right guard or right tackle is still probably top 5 at his position. You just paid him, more. So it's they got pieces and everything like that. And I don't know if it's just, the workload more. And I mean, I wouldn't play running back. No, you hit every play. No, thank you.
Well, Derrick Henry is the only exception at that size. He's the oldest running back, get paid that kind of money. I think he's at 32 years old right now, but his size and build makes sense. It's like almost like to take that much.
But other teams wouldn't even, trade for at where he's at in his career and everything. Like, the other team's not going to trade.
No, he's in a very specific system.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, if he was to go to New England, he would probably, fit. If he was to probably go to
Mike Tomlin would be able to figure it out with him, especially with the way Kenny Pickett's playing this year.
You know what I'm saying? So situations like that to where, but even still, those teams are not giving up what they were asking for to trade him. Everybody's available for trade. Come on now. Like, stop that. Everybody has a price with that.
Absolutely. And then we do got to go to break here. But on the next segment, I do want to ask you about the Chicago Bulls, because last night they played the Suns, went to OT, still couldn't quite close it out. And
it's still early.
It's still early, but man, there's a lot of bad signs coming up for the Chicago Bulls, and we'll dive into it on the next segment, because there's everything in their power. They had to win that game. They just had to make some shots. But we'll talk about that next on the Don't Punt Hour. Don't go anywhere.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air,
and Electrical.
Vershawn Jackson for Brant Excavating. Brant's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brant is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brant Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrantExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brant Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go big Brant.
This has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Attack, which is an exciting pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workouts. Attack can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com. Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day. They are thankful for those who served our great nation and gave their lives to defend this country, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality, service, and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights Don't Punt Hour with host, as always, Demorne Pearsonell. I'm Harrison, running the 1s and 2s, and we'll also have the Nebraska postgame as well tonight. They're playing Florida State, so definitely tune in for that one. We'll have Jake Bachman.
Are they good? Florida State not good?
No, I should have got the odds out. I want to say Nebraska's favored by 21.
I thought Florida State basketball was good. I thought like ACC was like the SEC for basketball.
This is one where they're I want to say it's 21.5. I'll look it up real quick, but I do want to ask you, with the Chicago Bulls, they're disastrous right now. So early, it's still very early in the NBA, but there's not been a lot of signs of hope.
Why do people panic so early with stuff when it doesn't? Like, why does your mind or people's mind go to necessarily like that? Like, people can have an off night. You know what I'm saying? People can be going through situations and whatnot. It's a, new thing still trying to figure out how to click. Like, why is it all of a sudden? Well, I don't know. Well, it's like, why so early? Like, what's the panic?
Real quick though, it is Florida A&M. They're favored by 21.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I said Florida State before.
You did say Florida State. That's why I was like,
yeah, no, not Florida State.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, not Florida. The odds would be way different. That's
I was like, oh, okay. Like,
you would have been like, damn, I got to check out Nebraska basketball. What
like,
I got?
I might come, throw some newspaper in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But no, just again with the Bulls, I think it's just this early in the season. You're just hoping to see something. So I wouldn't be panicking if I was seeing something, but. Again, they kept the Suns scoreless for 9 minutes in the fourth quarter.
That's seeing something. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's flashes of stuff. So, it's like, why do people let, their feelings and everything like that cloud necessarily like their judgment? Like, be realistic with stuff. Like a new team, new coach, people figuring out stuff and everything like that. What the last coach was doing to what this coach is doing.
What's still Billy Donovan? Same coach, same roster. So it's and they were struggling towards the bottom of the barrel with this kind of same setup. So I think that's kind of part of it. There's still, like you said, there's still a chance.
It's a long. They play 73 games, right?
82.
Jesus Christ!
And if they make it to the NBA in-season tournament, which still makes me laugh, hearing some of the NBA players.
I think I played the right sport. I think.
Yeah.
That's yikes.
Do you think you can handle baseball on their ridiculous schedule?
Who do you no? Who do you think is the best all around athlete? Like what?
All around athlete, all time,
like through all
alive or dead?
No, not a specific. I'm talking about like that can pick up and kind of translate to any sport. Like who is like the better all around? Is it the football players that can play everything? Okay. Is it like the basketball players that can pick up and play everything? Is it the baseball player, the soccer player? Like who do you think necessarily is like overall like an all around like athlete? It doesn't matter like what the sport is, like they can kind of just pick it up.
I would probably roll with basketball.
Really?
I think football you could have an argument, but there's so many positions. We'd have to really break it down into what positions we're talking about, because obviously the offensive lineman isn't going to be able to dominate and pick up basketball or the track field.
Why wouldn't they? Shaq did it.
Yeah, but Shaq was sitting that.
Oh, so you telling me some offensive lineman?
You're taking one of the greatest centers of all time.
I'm okay. Big Baby Davis.
Okay, take LeBron James. You think he can't dominate? In football.
I think he can. I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. But I mean, I feel like you kind of selling, some of them offensive linemen short. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like they can post up and
Yeah, but are you putting your center versus Usain Bolt on the 100?
Be realistic.
Okay, fine.
Be
He's
realistic.
got shot put. You can throw him in shot put. He's got good
like
shot,
why nobody wants to see that. But I would see Tariq Hill versus Bolt, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs versus. I like that.
You could argue football just because you have diversity and you got a bunch of guys of different builds and sizes.
I'm saying if you were to track all athletes and it was like, okay, well, or scout to a specific group of individuals to play or try other sports and everything like that. I'm not saying you got to pick an offensive lineman to which set of athletes would do, or who do you think would be able to pick up the other sports and possibly do them well if they were to start training for that?
We do have Brett chiming in saying hockey. Maybe you don't discredit wrestlers. I mean, if you're really thinking about all sports, because obviously fighting, that's a huge thing. Football, wrestlers, you always hear that all the time. maybe not a whole lot of other sports that could translate into. What do you have? You seem like you're thinking football here.
Nah, honestly, I'll probably say baseball.
Baseball?
I think so.
I mean, a lot of the greatest athletes are all could have had a baseball career on top of it.
Yeah, so I think it's probably baseball. Then after that is football. Baseball athletes, their tangibles is just different. Like,
yeah,
you're whatever you want to do with them and everything like that. Like, I feel like they pick it up easy. Outside of pitchers are weird. Pitchers, quarterbacks, weird. They're in their own. They're in their own. But you telling me a shortstop or anyone in the outfield necessarily couldn't pick up and do, what I'm saying, run routes.
Thomas Lincoln agrees with you. He says baseball.
So the baseball athletes, they're wired a little bit different. I'll give them that.
6540 says ask Bo and Dion. That would be a good one to ask those guys.
So it's again, it's baseball athletes they got it. I think I played the wrong sport. If I could do it all over again, baseball.
Were you a pretty good baseball athlete growing up, or did you never really?
Baseball's too boring for me. I can't do it. It's too boring. And honestly, baseball was my first sport.
Really?
But yeah, my grandfather was in baseball heavy. My uncle, who put me into sports, he was into baseball and softball heavy and everything like that. Baseball was my first sport. Didn't pick it up after. One season football, and that's all she wrote.
That's tough.
Baseball, I can't. Playing it will be fun. If I go to a baseball game, I'll probably fall asleep. Like, it's just I can't. I'm not. It's not my thing. Like,
I will say, if you go to like college baseball games, those are a lot more fun. In my opinion,
it's not my cup of tea. I think like I said, I think their athletes are incredible and everything like that. I could play it and probably get by, with just having fun with it, but actually going to the game and actually paying attention what's going on, no, I can't do it.
Yeah, real quick before we get out of here, I might throw UFC fighters in there just because you want to talk about intangibles. Those guys got everything you need in the gut check department just for stepping in there.
I don't know. Picking up something and everything like it's different from necessarily throwing your hands and putting your body. So I'm not saying no.
Yeah. We'll have to break it down next week though, as we're running out of time here. But nonetheless, don't go anymore. More Ticket Weeknights up ahead.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance,